Welcome to our podcast on how football clubs address the barriers international players may face when moving to a new country with different language and culture. Football is a truly global sport that transcends borders, cultures, and languages. The beautiful game brings together people from all walks of life and has the power to create a sense of community and belonging that extends far beyond the football pitch. However, for international players moving to a new country to play football can be a daunting experience. The language and culture barriers can create significant challenges that can impact the players' well-being and performance on the pitch. Football clubs play a crucial role in addressing these barriers and supporting the overall well-being and success of the international players. Our discussion today draws on insight from three key sources that explore the intersection of football, migration, and culture. Developing and supporting athlete well-being, person first, athlete second, by Campbell Brady and Tickner Smith, explores the importance of taking a person-first approach to athlete well-being. The second article, Global Players, Football, Migration and Globalization, by Taylor Matthew, examines how migration and globalization have shaped football and cultural identity over the last century. And finally, The Linguistics of Football by Lafric, Pisek, Skinner, and Stadler offers insight to the linguistic challenges faced by international football players. We will discuss how football clubs address these barriers through language and culture training, social support networks, and other strategies. We will also explore how football clubs create a sense of community and belonging for international players, enabling them to perform at their best on the pitch. As football is the most popular sport in the world, I was thinking about asking a handball coach. So I relied my literature on a different sport, which is handball. As handball becomes increasingly global, it is crucial for clubs to have strategies in place to help international players integrate into their new environment and feel comfortable on and off the pitch. In this episode, we will speak with expert Nick Bornemann in the field and examine the different approaches that handball clubs take to address these challenges, including language classes, cultural immersion programs, and support for players and their families. We hope you will find this discussion informative, whether you are a handball fan, a player, or simply interested in the intersection of sport, culture, and migration. This podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and let's kick off the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're excited to have Nick Bornemann on our podcast. Nick is a 29-year-old coach who has made a significant impact in the world of handball. He has previously coached the youth under 16 THW Kiel handball team, and his passion for the sport has led him to work with some of the most talented young players in the game in Germany for now. He already dealt with a lot of international young players as well back in the days, and that's what he's gonna let you guys know in this episode of podcast. Enjoy and have fun. The research question that I created was how do football clubs or any international club addressing the barriers international players may face when moving the place with different language and culture. So, what club did you train for, Nick?
Well, I trained for THW Kiel, which is in northern Germany, um, close to Hamburg, but it's you wouldn't think so, but it's one of the biggest handball clubs in Germany. And I
Yeah.
trained the youth team, so under 16s.
All right. What division did your team play back in the days when you trained the under 16 team?
Well, the men's team played first division. They've played first division for the last 22 years, I think. And our team, we played second youth division,
Okay.
which is hard to translate in normal leagues, but yeah, second youth division.
All right, cool. How many international players did you got the last 5 years during your time when you were the coach?
Well, Kiel is quite international. We have a quite big youth academy, and we get a lot of players from um, Denmark, Sweden. During my time, we had a player from, well, he just came back from Spain. So we had a couple, but not too many. Most of them come a bit later for the men's team, but I would say four, five. Yeah.
All right. What are some common barriers that international players may face when moving, for example, from to a new country from Sweden or Denmark, as you said?
Well, as you can imagine, there is the language barrier. Definitely the language barrier. Especially in that age, what we experienced is their English might not be too good. And then yeah, well, communicating on the field in German or like English caused some problems. That definitely. And then yeah, the normal things when moving to another country, you experience homesickness or adapting to a new culture in a sense. But yeah, I think we tried our best to work around that because it's always normal that these things occur. I feel like.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask, anyways, like how those international players overcome the language barrier. Um, do you have like language courses or something that you offer for those players, or how do they
Yeah,
learn
what what
German then,
what
or
we
how's
do.
the communication on the pitch?
Yeah, what we do right in the beginning. Most of it is in or we try to be have the training in English in the beginning. And then they start off with language courses quite early. Yeah, uh, we don't really have like translators that's not really possible during training. Yeah, but then during game time or in training, we communicate in English. Yeah,
Okay.
try to be as open as possible, and yeah.
According to Lafrick, Piesek, Skinner, and Stadler, they say language barriers, culture misunderstandings, and communication difficulties can pose significant problems for international players when they join a new club. Um, and they also mention that coaches need to be aware of these issues to effectively manage their teams. For you as a coach, wasn't it kind of difficult for you to handle like so many international players at once and kind of showing the player every time like the same things and everything, or like how did you deal with it? Like there were probably many um individuals that are maybe different, more introverted than extroverted. Like how did you deal with that?
Yeah, well, it's part of the job, no? It's yeah, um, especially when you get like young and very very talented players, and that's usually the international players that come in. Like they have a reason to be here, and they have a reason why we tell like casted them as a young talent from their country and got them to the team. So it's a valuable addition to the team, and I think then the whole team is also able to cope with it because there's someone coming in that is very strong on the field, on the pitch, and it, yeah, I think like the acceptance is a bit higher then, and it's not only my work; it's the work by the other players as well and the other trainers. So it's yeah, it's very doable. I feel like because
Mm.
you see the results quite quick, and also in that age, the players are so young, so it's I feel like easier for them to learn new languages, but also get used to a new city and to a new system. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they feel included within the team, or like, or in a broader community, or um, yeah, like
Well, as you
do
said, they're all individual characters, so I can't really say if they
okay.
all feel included, but in a sense, I feel like we have quite a good environment that includes new players, and yeah, well, that's that was our feeling. Otherwise we would do something wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we never heard anything negative. Yeah.
And about homesickness and loneliness from those players, did they ever talk with you like really in depth and like kind of open their heart to you, what they have on their mind or something? Can you tell us something about that, please, as well?
Yeah, funnily enough, I was about to say we have a team psychologist, but it's not really true because our team psychologist is the physio. So whenever they go to the physio and they just lay there for an hour because I mean, yeah, they do this once a week, yeah, more or less. They just open up and then talk to him. It's a team of two now, so yeah, we have two physios, and they kind of function as a yeah, kind of as a psychologist in the team, and everyone just gets their thoughts off there, and that's quite nice because it's also a valuable addition to us trainers, and it helps the players as well.
Okay, cool. Um, about finding housing and like obtaining necessary documents and everything, I can how should I like see it in that point? Like, because I think, or like, how do you think, is it really hard to get like documents and housings and everything for those players, or how do you deal with it?
Well, Kiel, luckily Kiel is the housing market is not that bad. Like I live in Hamburg now, and the housing market is just horrible. Like you can't find housing, and in Kiel it's a bit more chill, and that helps. That helps a lot. So we don't have to help the players with housing. That's something they do. They pick the living situation, but then when it comes to papers and everything that is like the bureaucracy around it, we push this and help this quite a lot because this can take quite a lot of concentration and time of the player, and well, most of us are like we know what we're doing, so it's easier if we just help and do this quite quick when they move in and don't have to yeah worry around that anymore.
All right, perfect. I have one last questions actually. What measures do handball clubs take to ensure that international players they feel safe and secure in their environment? Because they moving to a new country, they don't know how the culture in Germany or in Kiel now works. So, do you have any measures that you take to ensure that they are safe and secure?
Yeah, in the beginning we have this kind of security contact that the players can contact whenever they feel not only lonely but also like yeah not in the right position. But on the other hand, like in Kiel or in Germany, the security contact is not that needed because it, it's not that dangerous going outside. So luckily we don't really need this. But I know this from other examples, and I know this from other teams and trainers I talk to in a bit more, let's say, dodgy cities. They actually yeah they give this training of how to behave in the city and what to do and what not to do. Especially also with some of the young players, even though they shouldn't, they still are young and they go out clubbing and drinking, and something can always happen there. So it's yeah, it's something to we as a team need to look after, but luckily not in Kiev.
All right, perfect. Then thank you so much, Nick, for your time, and
Yeah, no
I hope
worries.
to see you someday in person. That would be amazing. But yeah,
No, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Have
thank
a
you so
good
much.
day then, and all the best for your future. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
you
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thanks. Bye. To conclude, moving to a new country to play handball in that case can present a range of challenges for international players. These challenges can include language barriers, cultural differences, homesickness, and adjusting to a new environment, as Nick already told us. However, I think Handball clubs can play a crucial role in helping international players overcome those obstacles and settle into a new surrounding. STRW Kiel, the handball club, for example, provide language and culture training, the emotional support from the staff, having the practical resources with the team, and like kind of build the team building. I think the international players can definitely feel included into the team, and also like be creating a welcoming and inclusive environment from THW Kiel was already good to hear, and like that they ensure that the international players are feeling comfortable and welcomed to the club is really nice to hear. So I think that all players that back in the days got trained under Nick Bornemann had a really nice experience and could 100% focus on the sport and achieve their full potential on the field. Thank you for listening to that podcast. I'm Tobias Fu, and I hear you in the next episode. Bye.